Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Rahu. I did a video before talking about K2, and wherever K2 is where you feel like something is always missing, where there's a drain or where there's just something that never seems whole and complete. Well, Rahu is the opposite of K2. Remember, this is the nodal axes, and if you want to learn more about Rahu and K2 in great detail, check out my book, which is Rahu and K2 and Eclipses, Our Karmic Destiny. You can go on to my website, galacticcenter.org, and you will find a list of all of my books, and this one is one of those that you can get. It will direct you from my website to Amazon to purchase this book, which I wrote this book a few years ago, and I'm particularly very proud of it because when I go into the nodes, Rahu and K2, as to all the different years that Rahu and K2 went through particular signs, I actually nailed the pandemic years before it happened, because I believe I wrote this book in the year of 2017, and I had said around the time the pandemic really came down, there was going to be a catastrophic event that would change the world forever. You'll find that paragraph in there. But going to how Rahu and K2 affect you personally, this is really important because I always say the nodal axes are our destiny. Realize what Rahu and K2 are. They are not planets. They are actually, I always say, kind of arbitrary points in space where the moon crosses the path of the sun around the earth, which is called the ecliptic. When the moon hits it going upwards, it's Rahu. So it takes us into this world. And where the moon hits the ecliptic going downward, that's K2. So you see, these are points are exactly the same degree opposite. But Rahu is pretty much part of our future, where K2 is the past, what we've left undone. That's why it feels like something's missing. It wasn't whole and it wasn't completed. Okay, but before I go on, I know I've got your attention. I want to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter. If you want to get all of my predictions weekly delivered to your email address, go to my website, galacticcenter.org, sign up for my free newsletter. And also, I'm so excited because again, and I don't do this all the time, again, I'm going to be starting semester 1 with the University of Vedic Astrology. This will be July 6th. So go to my university website, universityofvedicastrology.com, to be part of the new beginning of semester 1, July 6th. So continuing on about the nodal axes. So I call it an axis. They're always exactly opposite. And if you understand opposites, they're always relatively part due in the same thing, such as the opposing houses are in part do the same thing. But the nodal axes, they're going to be in the opposite signs, and they're going to be in the opposite houses, which are very much connected. So I want to go through all the different signs, but you're going to have to figure out where your Rahu is, and I think you can figure that out by going to my free chart calculator on galacticcenter.org, putting in all your information. Scroll down to the bottom. If you're unfamiliar with Vedic astrology, don't try to read those charts. Trust me, people are so confused by looking at those charts. But at the very bottom, it gives you exactly the determinants that you want. Where is your Rahu? Where is your K2? What signs? And you can figure out the houses because the ascendant is always the first house, counting around to where Rahu and K2 sit in your chart. What houses are they in? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Because before we went over K2, and that revealed what's missing. So when I think about Rahu and K2, Rahu hits the ecliptic going upward. That means it brings us into the world. When K2 hits, when the moon hits the ecliptic going downward, that's K2. It brings us out of the world. So they're very much part of our karma, our destiny, and our incarnations here in this world. So let's say you have Rahu in the first house, and of course K2 would be in your 7th house. So Rahu in the first house means in this lifetime, you have come here to develop you. Everything about you and your independence, not being dependent on other people, because in a past lifetime with K2 there, you were completely dependent on others. And that's why it always feels like something was missing in the area of relationship with K2 there. But Rahu in your first house means this is the lifetime that you are to find who you are, what your gifts are, and develop your independence away from being so, oh, I guess I gotta say, you're not meant to be dependent. Yes, so that is where you're gonna be very much, you need others. This lifetime, you really don't need others as much, but you do need to find yourself and your talents and develop you and be strong about who you are. Not let other people tell you who you are. You are in charge of your life and your destiny in this lifetime. And I gotta say, with Rahu being in the first house, you may think you have free will. Well, we all have free will, I believe that. But you really had a divine plan before you came down here, because Rahu in the first means you might feel like you're going to make a plan to go a certain direction, but somehow the universe takes you a whole different direction. Why? Because that's the divine plan you set out to achieve, and you're being guided. Rahu in the first house. Let's say you have Rahu in the second house. What is it in this lifetime you're here to achieve? What is your destiny? What's your future? It's all about finding your sense of self-worth, being strong about who you are, because growing up was pretty crazy. Lots went on with Rahu in the second, but you're here to find you in terms of your self-worth. And through being like this, you're going to make a lot of money. Rahu in the second house, that was the plan. You came here to be successful, to make money, to be very, very strong in the area of acquisition, wealth and money. In your past life, you probably gave it all away. That's kind of how it is, but now it's time for you to gain your financial power and to use it for things that will empower you yourself. Money's an important value for you. Let's say you got Rahu in your third house. Your future is learning, education. You are here to learn, to educate yourself, and possibly even be a teacher, to give back all the learning and information that you've acquired. This is so important for you. And you will probably be very much into travel, but not so much going across the world, shorter distances. You're always going places, always in movement, always driving. But another thing is, you have some karmic destiny with a sibling. Now, sometimes people that have Rahu in the third house don't have siblings. It could have prevented that. Maybe that was your destiny, to be an only child. But usually it's that you can be the youngest one in your family, and there is a destiny to be fulfilled with your siblings, all of them actually. So that's very, very important for you to understand. You came here to heal and be part and create a life connecting to your siblings. And maybe they're difficult to get along with, but that's your karma. Let's say you have Rahu in the 4th house. What's the 4th house? It really is security. You came here to find your security, and you're constantly searching for it in so many ways, but this is what you have to do. Remember, wherever Rahu is isn't the most comfortable. It's not, but it's what you've come here to achieve and accomplish in this lifetime. So Rahu being in your 4th house, you came to develop security and family ties, to connect to family. And maybe you're very disconnected with your mother because Rahu would cause separation there with the mom. But at the same time, you came here to understand who she is and what you're here to do with her. Okay? And yeah, that's not easy. But another thing is real estate and property. Those are very important attributes. Why? Because they give you security, and that's what you're seeking, and that's your destiny. Let's say you have Rahu in the 5th. The 5th house is that creative mind. And people that do have Rahu in the 5th can sometimes be extremely over the top, worrying about everything. They're obsessive compulsive with their thinking process. Yes, you are. So I know you know what I'm talking about. So Rahu in the 5th house, though, can mean that you're here to develop a relationship with children. Maybe you don't connect with them, but you're here to heal that. It's something you're here to do in this lifetime. Plus, you're an entrepreneur with Rahu being in the 5th house. You're here to create business and ideas. You're incredibly talented and you're incredibly intelligent. Use that power and that gift that you've been given in this lifetime. So let's say you have Rahu in the 6th house. You are here to work with other people and help them in this lifetime. And you will. It's not so easy. You tend to attract difficult people in the workplace or that even work for you, but you're here to work with them, heal it, and make it right. And another thing is you are a healer. You're here to heal other people. And I would imagine in the 6th house, either through counseling and guidance, you are here to help others. And that's an incredible attribute. Okay? Let's say you have Rahu in the 7th house. You've got a very difficult partner that's over the top and expansive in so many ways that it's hard to deal with them. It is, but you're here to deal with them. You're here to find relationships that work no matter what, at all costs, and you will. And you will. It's time to, in your previous lifetimes, with K2 being in the 1st house, you gave yourself away. But in this lifetime, yes, you are here to work through and build meaningful relationships. It's not easy. Let me tell you, this is uncomfortable, but it's what you came here to do. Let's say you have Rahu in the 8th house, okay? This would mean that money through other people is going to be coming your way. In your last life, you probably didn't get what you deserved, but in this life you will. Through other people, money will come. And furthermore, you have a mind that gets to the core and the bottom of things. You develop, well, not develop, you uncover the truth and you go deep, 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 deep in answering questions beyond this world. This is your destiny, to research and get to the core and the bottom of things. Plus, it is your destiny to receive the wealth and money you deserve through other people. You missed out on it in the past life. This is the life you get it. Okay, let's say you have Rahu in the 9th house. Well, you could have a very difficult father that you have karma with, and you've got to heal that karma. Improve yourself to your father. That's what's underlying this insecurity with the dad. But Rahu in the 9th house, you're always searching for the truth and you will find it at all costs. Just be very careful of cults and weird teachers that try to control you, because you've had that before in this lifetime. I think this really means that you're meant to be the teacher in this lifetime. So let's say you have Rahu in the 10th house. The 10th house is your work and your career. This is a lifetime that you are to be successful with your work and your career. It's going to be a focus, and it needs to be. You will be granted success and security through your work and your career. Others might see you as overly ambitious. It doesn't matter. This is your mission in this lifetime. Let's say you have Rahu in the 11th house. Well, let me just say this right off the bat. People with Rahu in the 11th house are extraordinarily lucky because they always meet very influential, powerful people. And this is your gift. This was granted to you from a past life. Use your connections. They're meant to be. And it could also mean you're the oldest one in your family, but you're meant to be the guiding one in the family with Rahu in the 11th house. You may have an overly controlling older sibling, but they're powerful, and allow them to help you. They will if you ask. Let's say you have Rahu in the 12th house. This means you are going to be connected throughout your life to foreign places, foreign people, foreign travel. You love it, and this is what you're here to explore and experience. But most of all, whenever you have Rahu in the 12th or the 6th house for that matter, you're a healer. You're here to heal people and help them. And with it in the 12th house, usually it's people, it's charitable organizations that you have the opportunity to help others with. Use that opportunity. It is a healing, and it's what your karma and what your life is all about. So always remember the nodal axes in astrology. Rahu is the north node, K2 is the south node. These are points in space that really connect what? The sun and the moon. These are the most important variables in Vedic astrology, and they cause eclipses. Eclipses are the most powerful tool as an astrologer we have for prediction. So wherever this nodal axis is so incredibly powerful, connecting the sun and the moon and the earth by eclipses. This is what the nodal axes are all about. It's about your destiny, your past, K2, your future, Rahu. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, remember to go to my website, sign up for my free newsletter, galacticcenter.org. But most of all, I don't start a new semester very soon. This is an opportune time for you to learn Vedic astrology. Go to University of Vedic Astrology.com, and it's a new start date, July 6th. See you there. Thank you.